Hello. Okay, so I found my cheat sheet. The only problem is that I have to make sense of what I wrote because I wrote this when I first saw your last video. So yes, some of it won't make sense. Maybe if you watch your video first or if you remember what you said. So you're gonna go with the sheet. Okay, so yeah, well, we were talking about Doctor Who on your last episode, and I'm bringing like closure on our comments on the last season. That is not over, I know, but the last episodes. Yeah, you were talking about Clara and how she has a lot of potential and like she could be so much more, and they just like the character got wasted. No, she well, they wasted a good opportunity of making something good out of Clara, and they only had like the Doctor this weird obsession with finding out who she was instead of actually giving her more character development. Um, yes, I love Asylum of Daleks, and she was kind of brilliant, and we never get to see how she went from just like this regular girl to the brilliant woman that becomes a Dalek. And she's supposed to be smart enough to be turned into a Dalek, but I suppose we haven't got there yet, and maybe they're gonna explore her character more. I don't know. I feel like it's a waste of a good character. Yes, I agree with you. Moffat is a great writer. The episodes he writes are brilliant, but he's not a good producer. He's not a good head writer. I don't like what he's doing with Doctor Who. But yeah, okay. So now the 50th anniversary that's coming on November 23rd, right? I'm definitely gonna find some way of watching the episode like hours after it airs or something. So I really want to see it, and they're not gonna broadcast it. I don't think they're. I have my mom's got BBC in her room in her TV, but I don't think they're gonna show the anniversary like that day. Probably a month later. Anyway, I saw the poster they have like with Matt Smith and David Tennant and John Hurt in like an explosion at the middle. I really liked it. I'm really excited about it. I'm mostly excited about the fact that David Tennant is coming back. And Billy Piper's also gonna be there, so I suppose it's gonna be 10-2. And something. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty cool. And okay, so with that good close up Doctor Who, I'm really liking the idea of Peter Capaldi as the next Doctor, as I said before. And we'll see Christmas special, right? We'll get to see the guy. Okay, so that's it for Doctor Who. Now, let's change to what's that? Okay, so you were with your sister on a drive-through movie like or the cinema, and I love that thing. I should have gone to a movie in a auto cinema while I was in San Rafael, but you can't do everything in just 1 year. But hey, with the way politics are going in Mexico, I might be moving to California. Not really, but I really want to. Anyway, okay, so okay. Your sister said something about cat videos, or you said something about cat videos. I don't like cat videos. I like kittens, but I'm a dog person. Anyway, Tumblr is awesome, and it takes so much time that I don't have out of my day. Like when I take a small break between doing one thing and another at job, I go on Tumblr. It's a waste of time. It's so awesome. Which brings me to my next like little dot here on this scrambled note. And I know the camera is moving and you can see me well, but you can hear me. Okay. Supernatural. I haven't finished season 8 yet. I'm starting season 8. I finished season 7. And I must say, I didn't like season 7. The whole Leviathan thing, I mean, it's kind of like, it was going nowhere for me. Like, I felt that after the apocalypse, I know for a fact that the show was supposed to be over after the apocalypse, right? Like, spoilers for everyone who hasn't seen Supernatural. I was under the impression that the show was supposed to be over after the apocalypse, right? Like, Sam throws Lucifer into the pit, and that's it. Everyone's happy, like Dean has a life and everything, whatever. So they kept going with that, and the next season was okay, I guess, like the whole purgatory thing and the monsters and Sam with no soul and Sam hallucinating Lucifer. They were like in the season after the apocalypse, like season 6, right? There were a lot of cool stuff, like awesome moments and things that I really liked. I didn't love the whole sequence, like the firstborns and Eve and the whole deal, but it wasn't bad, right? It wasn't as good as the previous season, but it wasn't bad. But then season 7 is just like, bleh. Like the Leviathan thing, and I don't know, I just didn't buy it. I didn't like the story. I didn't like where it was going. It felt floopy, like without essence. Like it was just, let's just try to paste and take bits together and see if it works. I don't know. You might have a better input, but because I'm sure you've seen season 7 multiple times since it came out on DVD, so you'll have a better idea of it than I do. That I only watched it once. I mean, it isn't bad, but I didn't love it. Okay, but so I'm gonna watch season 8, and I'm gonna finish hopefully before season 9 starts. I'm also, after I finish season 8, I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones and Mad Men, because those start after, like later. I already finished How I Met Your Mother. I know you don't watch it, right? But anyway, I love How I Met Your Mother, and I finished that, and now I'm finishing Supernatural, and then I'll do Mad Men and Game of Thrones and whatever else bumps into my way. So that's it for Supernatural. Then we got what else? What is this? Oh yes. So blanket. Oh, you say you could do like a Star Wars blanket. Yes, I love the idea, and I haven't found the time to go into your Etsy page. But yes, I am definitely sending you the money, so whenever you have time you can do the blanket, because I love blankets, even though here is hot as hell and I don't use blankets that much. But hey, I got my Gryffindor one and my t-shirts one, and you know, I love blankets and sweatshirts, and I love cold, and it's gonna be December and I'm really excited. What else? So okay, yeah, Batman. That was a big deal, like last week before something else happened. Yes, oh, we saw that Ben Affleck's gonna be Batman, and everyone kind of freaked out about it. And I remember I told you I was gonna like gather my thoughts on it and then talk about it. So I gathered my thoughts, and I forgot my thoughts, and then I gathered them again because it's been so long since I've done a video. Anyway, here's the deal with Batman, and I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible, because you know, and yes, I know, blasphemy and all that, I'm not a big fan of Nolan's Batman. I love Batman, I love Nolan, I just don't like them together. Keep Nolan doing stuff like Inception, keep Batman being Batman and not Christian Bale. I didn't like Christian Bale as Batman, sorry. I know everyone loves him, and oh, Batman this, and Christopher Nolan, and I'm Batman. No, I didn't like it. I'm probably gonna do a whole video on why I don't think they're good superhero movies. They are good movies, good action movies. But if you strip Batman, who isn't very super, he just has a lot of money. If you take the small things that make Batman super, he's not a superhero, he's just a hero. He's just a guy with a cape. And we don't love capes. Anyway, okay, so I'm rambling. So, Ben Affleck is Batman. The problem with Ben Affleck as Batman is that he's coming after a series of Batman movies that caused so much hype. Like, if they tried to do another Harry Potter films like right now. No, that's not a good example, because Harry Potter films different would be good. Like, I don't know, something that's really good. Okay, yeah, so like Matt Smith coming as the Doctor after David Tennant. David Tennant was awesome. So Matt Smith, who's not bad, he comes as the Doctor and everyone's like, he's not bad, but you know, he's not David Tennant. It's kind of like the same feeling I get with Ben Affleck. His timing is bad. Like, Dark Knight Rises came out last May, and they announced Ben Affleck, first of all, let me just say, I don't think that Batman vs. Superman movie will get done. I don't think so. One, because not everyone loved the new Man of Steel movies. What everyone loved about the last Batman, they're not taking it back. Like, new Batman, new producers, new directors, new storylines. I mean, it's not a great idea. DC, to me, it seems like a desperate cry from DC to gain market. Like, Marvel is a complete success. Even its worst movie lately has been awesome. Like, come on, let's be serious. Iron Man 3, it was an awesome movie, but it wasn't a great movie. Like, if you look at it, there's holes in the story. It's just Robert Downey Jr. flashing the Iron Man suit, which is perfectly fine by me. But everything Marvel does is awesome. And everything DC does lately is not as awesome. Except Batman, I know. Don't get fussy about Batman. Anyway, Ben Affleck is Batman. If you look at the Batman character as it is in the comic books, as it is like originally, you know, I haven't read that many comic books. I've read some Batman comic books, and you know, the feeling of the character, not the feeling of Christopher Nolan's Batman. That Batman was whiny. Was like, oh, my parents were killed, oh, I'm so sad, my girlfriend doesn't love me, and I'm gonna kill people. I know it's not like that, but you know, Ben Affleck is more like a classic Batman. Like, he's classy, and Bruce Wayne, he's supposed to be the guy that when you see him at a ball or something, he's just like the pretty rich boy who no one would think he is Batman. And if you look at it that way, maybe Ben Affleck would be a good Batman. Like, he's just the pretty rich boy, maybe not that pretty, but you know, the rich guy who's just like, man, okay, he's handsome, he's good-hearted and stuff, but if you see him, you wouldn't think, oh, that guy's hiding something. Like, Batman has to sell that kind of innocence, like Clark Kent, you know, like you wouldn't guess that the geeky reporter is Superman. You wouldn't guess that the whiny rich boy is Batman. So maybe if you look at it that